Welcome to the deep dive. We dig through the sources, the histories, the critiques, the biographies to pull out the really essential stuff for you. Now, when we talk Impressionism, usually it's all about, well, the guys, isn't it? Monet, Degas.
Yeah, that's the story we always hear, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's definitely not the whole picture. Our sources today, they shine a light on 7 incredibly influential women artists who were right there shaping the movement, often against huge societal barriers.
Right. They have unique styles, unique perspectives, but somehow they often end up as, well, footnotes.
Exactly. And that's why celebrating them is so important. Many just didn't get the same fame, partly because of those barriers, and sometimes because they focused on themes seen as more traditionally feminine.
So that's what we're doing today. We're pulling these 7 women out of the footnotes and putting them center stage. We're talking Berthe Morisot, Mary Stevenson Cassatt, Marie Bracquemond, Louise Catherine Breslau, Eva Gonzales, Lilla Cabot Perry, and Cecilia Beaux.
Yeah, let's get into it. We want to look not just at what they painted, but really how they changed things.
Okay, so where do we start? Maybe with Berthe Morisot, often called the Grande Dame of the movement, born in France, 1841.
Good place to start. And unlike quite a few women artists back then, she actually came from a background of privilege, socially, economically. Her dad was a senior government official.
And her mother was related to a famous painter?
Yes, the niece of Jean-Honoré Fragonard, the Rococo painter. So art was sort of in the family sphere, you could say.
And that privilege, like you said, it opened doors. Maybe the biggest one was her connection to Edouard Manet.
Definitely. A lifelong artistic relationship. And she ended up marrying his brother, Eugene Manet.
Let's talk about her style, though. It sounds, well, almost simple on the surface. Limited colors, lots of white.
Deceptively simple, I'd say. It's actually incredibly sophisticated. That limited palette, especially the way she used white, it wasn't about lacking color. It created this amazing sense of transparency, almost like breathability in her work.
So it made things feel spacious, gave them depth.
Exactly. A really modern feel for the time. And she often mixed media, too. Watercolor, pastel, oil, which was also pretty innovative.
And her subjects, often scenes from her own life, right? Family, kids, interiors. Giving us this glimpse into a woman's world back then.
Yes, and that was radical in itself, focusing on her daily reality, the domestic sphere, and elevating that to the level of high art.
But she got criticized for it.
Oh, constantly. Male critics often dismissed it as having too much feminine charm.
Sounds like a backhanded compliment, like they were trying to downplay her actual skill by just calling it charm.
Pretty much. Implying it wasn't harder in technique, just some natural quality. But more so, she was focused on the practice. She had this great quote, "Real painters understand with a brush in their hand."
I like that. Practice over just theory. Okay, let's hop across the Atlantic now. Mary Stevenson Cassatt, American, born 1844, lived mostly in France. Her family situation was different.
Very different. Upper middle class, yes. But they actively discouraged her from becoming a professional artist. They were worried about her being exposed to, quote, feminist ideals and thinking.
Wow, so just pursuing art professionally was seen as radical for a woman.
Absolutely. But Cassatt, she wasn't put off. She went to France, settled there, and became heavily influenced by Degas.
And that Degas influence took her in an interesting direction technically, didn't it? Not just oils, but pastels.
Yeah.
And etching.
Yes, pastels became a major medium for some of her most important work. And she really mastered copper engraving and etching. That focus on line work was crucial for her.
Why the line work? How did that fit with Impressionism?
Well, etching later introduced these strong, sharp lines, kind of countered the typical soft, atmospheric quality you associate with some Impressionists. It gave her compositions this structural backbone.
So even in those famous intimate scenes of mothers and children, the strong lines gave them more weight.
Exactly. More modernity, maybe an intellectual edge. It stopped them from being purely sentimental. She was depicting the new women of the 19th century, educated, independent thinkers. And she backed that up, too, actively supporting women's suffrage.
She really lived those feminist ideals her family feared.
She did, which makes the end of her painting career just heartbreaking.
Oh, what happened?
Later in life, she developed serious eye problems, cataracts, other issues. She eventually became almost blind and had to stop painting completely.
Oh, that's terrible. After dedicating her whole life to seeing, to capturing things visually.
A real tragedy for such a groundbreaking artist.
Okay, let's shift back to France. Marie Bracquemond, born 1840. Her story sounds like another kind of struggle entirely. No privilege here.
No, not like Morisot. And her personal life was, well, difficult. An unhappy arranged marriage.
And her husband, wasn't he an artist too, or involved in the art world?
Yes, Felix Bracquemond. He was an artistic director. But instead of being supportive, the sources say he actually resented her artwork. He'd refused to show her paintings to visitors.
Seriously, her own husband?
Yes. That constant friction, that lack of support from within her own home, it just wore her down. By 1890, she essentially stopped painting altogether, apart from maybe a few private things.
That's incredibly sad. Her biggest critic was living with her.
A stark example of how domestic life could stifle a woman's career back then. Yet, despite all that, she was a fierce defender of Impressionism.
Really? Even while she was being suppressed?
Absolutely. Her style evolved, influenced by Monet and Degas, and she became a real champion for plein air painting outdoors.
Painting in the open air.
Yes. And she had this amazing quote defending it, probably aimed right at her traditionalist husband. She said, "Impressionism has produced a very useful way of looking at things. It is as though all at once a window opens and the sun and air enter your house in torrents."
Wow. Sun and air into your house in torrents.
Yeah.
Given her situation, that sounds like it's about more than just light effects, doesn't it?
Oh, definitely. You can read that as a plea for personal freedom, for liberation from that stifling domestic atmosphere, as much as an artistic statement.
What a poignant way to put it. Okay, let's move to someone who perhaps found a different path. Louise Catherine Breslau, Swiss-German, born 1856. Her journey into art started unusually.
Yeah, it was illness, actually. Chronic asthma meant she spent time in a convent near Lake Constance as a child. And it was there, surprisingly, that her artistic talent really woke up.
And she realized she needed to go to Paris.
Exactly, for serious study. And in Paris, she found not just her career, but also her lifelong companion, Madeleine Zilhart.
Another artist.
Yes. They lived together for 40 years. Zilhart was her muse, model, confidant, her biggest supporter. A very different model of partnership compared to Bracquemond's marriage.
And Breslau achieved quite a bit of recognition in her time, didn't she? Even the Legion of Honor.
She did. She was very patriotic towards France, stayed in Paris during World War I, painting portraits of soldiers and nurses. That work earned her the Legion of Honor.
Which was a massive deal back then for a woman artist.
Huge. She was the first foreign woman and only the third female artist ever to receive it at that point.
Oh.
But here's the kicker. The irony we see so often.
What's that?
Despite being incredibly prolific, nearly 800 works known and famous in her lifetime, her name isn't as well known today. A Swiss scholar pointed out recently how her achievements are often just footnotes, and a lot of her art is kind of hidden away in private collections.
So success then doesn't always equal lasting fame. Interesting. Okay, next up. Eva Gonzales, French, born 1849. Her career was quite short. Tragical.
Very short. She was a pupil of Edouard Manet, starting in 1869. He even painted that famous portrait of her.
Right, the portrait of Eva Gonzales, and she was known for her skill.
Yes, great intuition, strong technical skills. But again, critics often use those gendered terms, feminine technique, seductive harmony.
Here we go again. But she hit a wall with the salon system.
She really did. It was this paradox. Your work had to seem feminine, but if you showed too much strength or boldness, they doubted it was really yours.
So if it was good, it couldn't possibly be by a woman.
Essentially, yeah. She submitted a large painting box at the Théâtre des Italiens. The salon jury rejected it. Their reasoning. It had too much, quote, masculine vigor.
Masculine vigor. So they basically implied she must have had help or it wasn't really her work.
That was the implication. Strong work from a woman made them suspicious. Success could almost look like cheating in their eyes.
That's just infuriating.
And then the tragedy. Her career was just getting started, really, but she died in childbirth. She was only 34.
Oh, no.
And it was just 5 days after her teacher, Manet, had died. Her whole body of work is only about 90 paintings. Critics later just wondered what masterpieces we lost because she died so young.
Such a loss. Okay, let's cross the globe again. Lilla Cabot Perry, American, 1848, a leader in American Impressionism.
Yes, definitely. And she wasn't just painting. She was a major advocate for the movement in the U.S., really active in promoting it.
So she helped other artists, too.
Absolutely. She helped further the careers of people like John Breck, even Claude Monet, and Camille Pissarro. Apparently, she helped Pissarro quite a bit when he was struggling financially. She was like a bridge bringing French Impressionism to America.
And her own art had a unique blend of influences.
It really did. She studied in America, she studied in Europe, but she also spent significant time in Japan.
Japan. That's unusual for the time.
Very. She met the art philosopher Okakura Kakuzo there. That experience gave her this really unique perspective, allowing her to blend Eastern and Western artistic ideas in her Impressionist work.
Fascinating. And like some of the others, she navigated that difficult balance, being a mother and a professional.
Yes, she really pushed against social norms to manage both, at a time when women, especially of her class, rarely worked outside the home. It was a significant personal challenge she overcame.
Right. Okay, one more to cover. Cecilia Beaux, another American born 1855. And her story sounds a bit different. She actually did achieve widespread success during her lifetime.
She absolutely did. Huge success. Considered one of the best portrait painters of the late 19th, early 20th century, period. Not just best women portrait painters.
How did she manage that?
She was known as incredibly disciplined, a perfectionist. She was talented, yes, but also very determined and focused. She had 14 solo exhibitions, which is just remarkable.
14. Wow.
Yeah, and she broke institutional barriers, too. She was one of the very first women to teach at the Pennsylvania Academy of Fine Arts, and she taught there for over 20 years.
She sounds like she really embodied that idea of the new woman.
Completely. She prided herself on it, pursuing education, pursuing a career, opportunities usually denied to women. And she made a conscious choice. She never married.
Was that a deliberate professional strategy, do you think?
It seems likely.
Yeah.
In that era, marriage often meant giving up your public career. By staying single, she protected her time, her focus, her professional identity.
And it paid off. She received lots of honors.
Her life was full of them. Elected to the National Institute of Art and Letters, even honored by Eleanor Roosevelt later in life. She provides this powerful example of what talent combined with sheer discipline and maybe rejecting traditional paths could achieve.
Okay, so looking back at all seven, Morisot, Cassatt, Bracquemond, Breslau, Gonzales, Perry, Beaux, what's the big picture? What's the collective legacy here? It's more than just seven individual stories, right?
Oh, absolutely. There's a clear synthesis. First, they fundamentally challenged what was considered acceptable subject matter for serious art. By painting their own worlds, often domestic scenes, they forced the art establishment to recognize that these experiences of a woman's life, motherhood, interiors were valid, important subjects, not just fluff or feminine charm.
Right. They made the personal universal, in a way.
Exactly. Second, they didn't just prove women could be artists, they proved women could excel technically, on par with any man. You see it in Morisot's sophisticated use of white, Cassatt's mastery of etching, Beaux' disciplined portraiture. They forced doors open, demanding equal training and recognition.
They showed dedication equals excellence, regardless of gender.
Precisely. And third, they created different models for future women artists. Perry showed you could potentially juggle family and career. Beaux showed you could choose career above all else, forgo marriage, and achieve immense success. Both paths became visible, validated options.
So they broadened the definition of what a woman artist's life could look like.
Yes. And finally, let's not forget the power of influence, both ways. They learned from male mentors like Manet and Degas, sure, but it wasn't a one-way street. Their innovations, their unique perspectives, they absolutely influenced the male impressionists too. It highlights a collaborative strength within the movement that often gets overlooked.
That's a really important point. It wasn't just men teaching women.
Not at all. So, as we think about their fight for recognition, for parity, I want to leave you, the listener, with a thought from Cecilia Beaux. Looking ahead, she said, I predict an hour when the term women in art will be as strange-sounding a topic as the title men in art would be now.
That's quite a statement. Saying the distinction itself would become meaningless.
Exactly. So the question for us today, more than a century later, is, how close are we, really? Have we reached that point where we don't need the qualifier women artists, or is there still work to do?
That's a really powerful question to end on. It challenges us to think about how far we've come and maybe how far we still have to go. Now, if you found these stories as fascinating as we have and you want to explore the work of the creator whose research informed this deep dive,
we really encourage you to check out Anita Louise art. You can see her own paintings and get a sense of the passion behind this kind of detailed exploration.
Absolutely. And if you enjoyed this discussion and want more like it, deep dives into art history, Artist Stories definitely subscribe to the Anita Louise Art YouTube channel. Lots of great videos and information there.
Yeah, stay connected with the community. And you can also sign up for the free newsletter. Keep learning, stay updated.
Great. Well, thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the incredible women who helped shape Impressionism. We'll catch you next time.